Right now, we begin at 5 with the new information coming to light today after the fatal shooting of a student on the campus of Kentucky State University.
Well, this was the scene at KSU just a few hours ago as the campus community held a vigil for the student killed and another left critically injured.
A 48-year-old man from Evansville, Indiana, is charged with murder and assault tonight. We learned today that he is a parent of a student. Hello, everybody, and thanks for joining us. I'm Doug Proffitt.
And I'm Connie Leonard. We have an update now on the identity of the student who was killed. Police tonight identifying the 19-year-old KSU student as DeJohn Fox of Indianapolis. This is a picture of him on your screen right now.
And our sister station in Indianapolis, WTHR Television, talked with Fox's mother today, and we learned more about him.
All he do is make people laugh. Like, he's so harmless. Like, he's just a funny dude. All he do is make people laugh. I don't know too many people who dislike him.
Tonight, we're also learning more about the man arrested in connection with this shooting. Police arresting this man, 48-year-old Jacob Lee Bard of Evansville, Indiana, shortly after the shooting yesterday afternoon. We learned today from police that Bard is the parent of a student at KSU.
Bard is charged with murder and assault, first degree. His arraignment is set for tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Well, WHAS11's Alexandra Goldberg and photojournalist Connie Offit are live now in front of Young Hall.
Alexandra, you've been there for the vigil. What other updates can you give us today? I know that police had another news conference after the one they held at 7 o'clock last night.
Yeah, hey, Connie, Doug, a couple of main updates here. Number one, as we've been mentioning, the suspect, 48-year-old Jacob Lee Bard, is confirmed to be a parent of a KSU student. Number two, Frankfort police say that they are taking a look at surveillance video provided by the university, but they can't elaborate on any of the details of what may have happened leading up to the shooting. Now, campus here is quiet. Finals are canceled, classes are canceled, and students, as you can see a little bit behind me, are starting to pack up their bags from these two dorm halls and leave early for winter break. All day today, we've been seeing students hugging each other, comforting one another, and of course that vigil that you just saw a video of honoring that 19-year-old victim who was shot and killed in this tragedy. But one thing stands out today, and it's KSU. It's small, it's tight-knit, and it's all about family. Take a listen.
I looked out the window, and I won't be too descriptive just for, privacy, but I did see a student performing CPR on another student, and then as ambulances arrived, I watched 5 students carry another student out of Young Hall to an ambulance door. So all I can really say is that, if it wasn't for the K-State family, couldn't really tell you what would have happened.
Kentucky State University student Anthony Jackson Jr. describing what he saw following a fatal shooting near a student dorm on Tuesday. KSU student 19-year-old DeJohn Darrell Fox Jr. was killed, and another student is being treated at the hospital. Authorities confirmed 48-year-old Jacob Lee Bard is charged with murder and first-degree assault. Bard is not a student. According to court documents, Bard was, quote, involved in a physical altercation and allegedly shot the 2 students with a handgun. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear says this is an isolated incident, not a random shooting nor a mass casualty incident. This is the second shooting on KSU's campus this semester, a non-fatal shooting taking place in August. KSU student Alexis Hayes says she's calling on campus police and security to tighten control.
This is not just KSU's image. We have a lot of other things here. We have good education, we have a good community, we have good sports, everything. The events are even good. Everything is good about this school, but it's I would just say don't, judge a book by its cover, because this can really happen anywhere.
Now, we also learned today that Frankfort Police and also the Franklin County Department are supplying some extra police officers to staff at this campus. And as you just heard, that's what students are wanting. They want to see that extra police presence and security here as they return back from winter break. We're live in Frankfort. Alexandra Goldberg, WHAS11 on your side. Connie, Doug.
All right, Alexandra, thank you so much.
We have a great old saying here in Kentucky. It's really sort of a cliche, but it's I don't like cliches, but it's worth saying.
But he'll say it.
If you don't like the weather,
Wait.
stick around for 5 minutes.
Yeah,
it's going to change.
that's
And
true.
if there is no more forecast more accurate to back up that statement.
That's
Connie.
true, Mallory. That's true here, right?
I am earning my keep this week. We have a lot going on in the weather department. So
Well, you're going to
today-
have something extra in your stocking for earning your keep. That's good.
Thanks,
Good
thanks.
job.
I think Santa enjoys this cold weather and the snow that's on the way. So today we've been seeing, of course, gusty winds. We had morning showers, transition to kind of a wintry mix. Some of you all might have seen sleet or what's called grapple fall from the sky, frozen precipitation, not quite ice, not quite snow. That mixed in this afternoon as we do have colder air in the atmosphere and our temperatures are starting to drop. So we've been in the 40s for much of the day. We're currently sitting in the upper 30s at both airports, but it feels like the upper 20s due to the gusty winds. Max HD radar, you can see precipitation is winding down a bit, but we will still hold a chance for spotty snow showers off and on this evening and into tonight. Wind gusts still up to about 30 miles per hour at this point. These winds will gradually decrease as we carry on throughout this evening and tonight, so that will certainly help. And temperatures, those will drop down into the upper 20s by early tomorrow morning. Now we'll get a little bit of downtime tomorrow before more snow is on the way tomorrow night. Could have more chances on Saturday as well. A lot to talk about coming up in our 7-day forecast, guys.
The top issue, I believe, is reigniting and refueling that American dream.
Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear talking about the biggest challenges facing America as he starts his new role to get Democrats elected across the country next year. And as Beshear ends the year, he is talking about his accomplishments.
But the governor also makes national headlines these days because of the still unanswered question, is he going to run for president? WHAS 11's Isaiah Kim Martinez asked him about that here at WHAS 11 this morning.
Governor Andy Beshear has clearly thought about who should sit in the White House after President Donald Trump's second term is over.
When you look at the damage that Donald Trump has done to the federal government, it's going to take an executive that has run a large organization that can bring leaders with them to rebuild it.
Even though Beshear won't say whether he's ready to trigger a presidential run, he's now being specific, saying a Democratic governor needs to win in 2028.
When I say rebuild the federal government, I don't think we should rebuild it the same way. It needs to be faster. It needs to be more efficient. It needs to be more responsive. That's what the American people need, and I believe a Democratic governor is who can get it done.
Beshear sat down for an interview in our streaming studio. He says he expects 2025 to go down as Kentucky's third best year ever for economic development, but he also warns the state faces a $300 million budget shortfall in 2026. How will this affect Kentuckians' wallets?
Do I believe that Kentuckians are going to directly feel it from our budget? No, but will they feel it from tariffs? Yes.
Beshear says the budget deficit is mainly due to two Republican-led decisions: Kentucky lawmakers lowering the individual income tax and President Donald Trump's tariffs
that are reducing some spending in our economy.
The governor also took a moment to address the Kentucky lives lost this year and weather-related disasters and the deadly Louisville UPS plane crash in November.
We lost over 50 people between the three disasters and the plane crash, and those are 50 families that are still really struggling.
On a national level, Beshear just started his critical role as chair of the Democratic Governors Association. In that job, he'll have heavy influence in crafting a strategy that wins for Democrats in 36 governors' races next year.
You're going to see us hold all of these Republican governors accountable that haven't stood up, that haven't spoken out for their people, and their people are suffering.
The results of those elections could have a profound impact on Beshear's political future.
Beshear still isn't revealing a timeline for when he'll have that conversation with his own family to decide whether or not to run for president.
And staying on the presidential theme, we asked the governor today about foreign policy and his stance on the war in Ukraine and Vladimir Putin. His answer coming up at 6. As a reminder, you can watch the full unedited interview with Governor Beshear tonight.
It's streaming on the free WHAS 11 Plus app, and it'll air at 8 tonight. Download that app right now on your smart TV. More local news here for you at 5. Right now, a West Louisville housing complex is officially open after a years-long remodeling project. In 2018, this site was acquired by the Housing Partnership, Inc., or HPI, to undergo remodeling, a cornerstone of the city's reimagined 9th Street vision. The $48 million remodel of the affordable housing complex includes 116 senior apartments and additional office space for nonprofits. Before her time in the West End Opportunity Partnership, CEO Laura Douglas had worked with tenants needing access to affordable housing for years.
It is the basic building block in community. It's the basic thing that children need to feel safe, secure, and loved.
As of September, all units in the complex are full. Previously, the location was a candy factory, then a cigarette manufacturing facility, and a Veterans Affairs office.
Lawmakers are preparing for the third and final reading in the Indiana State Senate tomorrow after a Senate committee passed the redistricting bill earlier this week. The impassioned statements from Indiana lawmakers after the break.
And here's a check of today's Kentucky Lottery jackpots. Mega Millions, $70 million. Powerball, $930 million.
The Kentucky Lottery, funding education for over 1 million Kentucky students.